Spaghetti carbonara. It is one of the most imitated dishes in the world, and one of the most incorrectly made. The dish comes from Rome, born in the final years of World War II, around 1944. The recipe is strict: guanciale, eggs, pecorino romano, black pepper, and pasta. No cream, no garlic, no onion. The ingredients are the rules. The first published recipe appeared not in Italy, but in a Chicago newspaper in 1952, a fact that Roman chefs have never quite forgiven.
Bolognese. The meat sauce from Bologna is one of the most traveled recipes in culinary history, and one of the most misunderstood. The original dates to the late 18th century, documented in Imola, just outside Bologna. The authentic version uses tagliatelle, not spaghetti. It contains milk or cream added during cooking, not at the end. It simmers for hours. What the world calls spaghetti bolognese does not exist in Bologna. A former mayor of the city declared this on national radio. The rest of the world listened and ordered it anyway.
Cacio e Pepe. 3 ingredients: pecorino romano, black pepper, pasta. No oil, no butter, no cream. The dish was invented out of necessity by shepherds from Lazio, Abruzzo, Tuscany, and Umbria. Pecorino aged well in the mountains. Black pepper kept insects away and warmed the body in cold weather. The pasta was all they needed. What looks like a minimal dish is technically one of the hardest to execute correctly. The cheese must emulsify into the starchy pasta water without clumping. Most restaurants get it wrong. Lasagna. Of all classic pasta dishes, lasagna has the longest paper trail. A medieval cookbook from the 5th century describes a dish called lagana, layers of flat dough with meat filling, baked until firm. The northern Italian version uses green pasta sheets made with spinach, bolognese ragu, bechamel, and parmigiano reggiano. No ricotta, no mozzarella. Those are southern and American editions. The debate between the northern original and the southern variation is ongoing and fierce. Both sides believe they are making the real lasagna. Neither is entirely wrong.
Amatriciana. This sauce comes from Amatrice, a small mountain town in Lazio, and it takes its identity seriously. Guanciale, tomatoes, pecorino romano, a touch of chili, that is the complete list. The tomatoes came only after the 19th century, when they arrived from the New World and were accepted slowly into the recipe. Before that, the dish was called gricia. When a 2 Michelin star chef admitted he adds garlic to his Amatriciana, the mayor of Amatrice issued an official statement of condemnation.
Fettuccine Alfredo. In 1908, a Roman restaurateur named Alfredo di Lelio created this dish for his wife, who was struggling to eat after childbirth. The original recipe had 3 ingredients: fettuccine, butter, and Parmigiano Reggiano. When American silent film stars Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks visited Rome in 1927, they ate this dish and brought it back to the United States. The version that spread across America added heavy cream. Today, fettuccine Alfredo is virtually unknown in Italy and considered a staple of American Italian cuisine. The man who invented it would not recognize what is served in his name.
Pesto alla Genovese. The sauce belongs to Genoa, and Genoa is protective of it. The official recipe, registered with the Consortium of Pesto, requires Genovese basil, specifically from the Ligurian coast, pine nuts, garlic, Parmigiano Reggiano, pecorino sardo, and extra virgin olive oil. Traditionally prepared in a marble mortar with a wooden pestle, never in a blender. The heat from the blades oxidizes the basil and changes the flavor. Pesto should be served with trophy pasta, never with spaghetti. Outside Genoa, it is served with everything.
Aglio e olio. This is the dish Italian cooks make at midnight when there's nothing in the house. Garlic, olive oil, chili flakes, pasta water, spaghetti. That is everything.
It comes from Naples and belongs to the tradition known as cucina povera, the cooking of the poor, built on almost nothing. The technique is what matters. The garlic must be sliced thin and coaxed to golden, never brown. It takes 12 minutes and produces one of the most satisfying things a kitchen can make. It is perhaps the most underestimated dish in Italian cooking.
Puttanesca. The name alone stops people. The most common story is that the dish was made quickly between clients. Another says a restaurant owner in Ischia invented it in the 1950s after guests demanded he cook something, anything, from whatever was left in the kitchen. What is certain is the flavor: tomatoes, olives, capers, anchovies, garlic, chili. Intense, briny, aggressive. A sauce that announces itself. Whatever the origin, it became one of the defining dishes of Southern Italian cooking and one of the most memorable names in the entire pasta canon. Arrabbiata. The word means angry, and the dish earns the name. Tomatoes, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, and dried red chili peppers. The heat is not a suggestion. Arrabbiata was born in Rome in the mid-20th century. It is served with penne, which catches the sauce inside its ridges. There is no meat, no cheese at the table, nothing to soften the heat. Romans make it at full intensity and consider restraint an insult to the recipe.
Marinara. This is one of the oldest tomato sauces in Italian cooking. The name comes from La Marinara, the sailor's wife, who prepared this sauce for fishermen returning to Naples from sea. Tomatoes, garlic, olive oil, oregano. Nothing else. No meat, no onion, no basil. Those are later additions. In Naples, it means something specific. Fast-cooked, bright, acidic. The simplicity is the point. The Neapolitans have been making it the same way for 200 years.
Pasta al Limone. This dish comes from Campania, from the Sorrento Peninsula and the Amalfi Coast, where lemon trees grow on terraced cliffs above the sea, and the fruit is larger, thicker-skinned, and more fragrant than anything found inland. The sauce is made from lemon zest and juice, butter, Parmigiano Reggiano, and a little pasta water. Bright, clean, and completely seasonal, considered a summer dish made when the lemons are at their peak. For most of the 20th century, it barely left the region. In the last decade, it became one of the fastest-spreading Italian recipes in the world. The Amalfi Coast noticed the lemons remained expensive.